Yesterday you were producing a masterpiece, but today you know it was just another piece of... If you're doom scrolling YouTube just to avoid staring at your another failed 8-bar loop, or if you hit this creative rut again, no worries, I got you. Today I'm gonna share my 4 strategies on how to audit your own failed projects and move on. So I personally like to reflect on things. I like to procrastinate. I mean, I don't, but I do. And during my last mental freeze, the creative block, I decided to understand where this uncomfortable feeling comes from. You know, the feeling that I just failed another project. I cannot move on with my 8-bar loop. I figured out that we all have this itch to finish stuff. And it's actually some sort of a survival mechanism. So this has a name, it's called the Zeigarnik effect. And it means that our brains basically remember better the unfinished projects, better than the completed one, of course. So that's the same mechanism that makes you really want to know why your ex dumped you, and the same as why you cannot stop thinking about this 8-bar loop that you didn't finish a few days ago. So this open project, all these loops saved in the unfinished folder, these are our cognitive burden. So they trigger these creeping thoughts, but also make you frozen, so you cannot actually even start anything new without finishing the previous one. So next time you start noticing these thoughts, it's only your brain looking for closure. Remember, you are okay, everything is fine, you have it under control. You're not a failure only because you didn't want to finish this one particular project. The real reason why we get stuck with our projects, it's simply a clash between our ideal and the reality. The other times it can be simply the mismatch between your current skills and the idea, so your taste, the idea that you have in your head, and simply you cannot execute it, so you get stuck. And these are easy things to fix, but they require time and reflection. Everything is about the mindset. We tell ourselves that a 1-minute piece is insufficient because it doesn't match the streaming standards, or that the track is not good enough because it's not as loud as the songs that you've heard in the club last night. Who actually decides when a song is done, when it's finished? We often fail to remember that these standards change here and there. So if we look back at time and take, for example, Bohemian Rhapsody, back in that time there was like a big problem with this song because it was too long for the radio. And from that moment onwards, we kept on listening to like 3-4 minutes tracks, and that was the standard. And a few years ago, we would laugh thinking that 2-minute piece is considered a finished full pop song. Go check the last album from Taylor Swift, the biggest star of our times, and see how long her tracks are. The point is, there are no strict rules, artistic rules. These are all trends. We often buy into this myth of a genius artist producer who just sits down and spits out masterpieces. Because we open the last album and we see 8 amazing tracks, but we don't see the 80 tracks that didn't even leave the hard drive. They are not failures, they are not bad tracks, they are not the best, but they still were the foundation for the 8 chosen songs. You see what I'm trying to say is that each song, each loop, each project that you start is a foundation for the next ones to come. So these are the lessons in rhythm, in sound design, in arrangement, and these are never failures because these are the countless hours that we put into our progress, and these are crucial in order for us to grow. We cannot make good stuff without making bad stuff. It's just that, you know, the big artists, they don't share the bad stuff, right? They also make shitty music, believe me. And every project you make, every project you abandon is just a step in your bigger journey. So it's not worth to get stuck in this one single loop forever. And because it's better to move on, here are my 4 strategies that I always go back to whenever I realize that I'm just staring blindly at the screen. So the first one is the farewell. It's a very simple one. It takes from the Zeigarnik effect. So we simply want to move on We want to get our energy back, we want to live stress-free, and we want our inspiration back. So what do, my friend? We simply delete the project. But before you press this delete button, you need to admit that there is not much value in the project itself, but there is much value in the process of creation of this project. These are the questions that we can use to reflect. What did I learn here? What went well? What will I never do again? And what is this one skill that I could get in order to move further? The second strategy is called non finito. It is inspired by sculptures in Renaissance. It inspired other artists like Rodin, whose sculpture, The Walking Man, was missing a head and arms, which was extremely controversial at that time. But now we don't have a problem with showing a sculpture in a museum that consists only of a hand or like random piece of a body. In this concept, you are actually accepting the fact that the essence, the most important, the core part of your track lays in this 40 seconds that you wrote. And there is not much point of like copying it around and looping it forever just to meet the standard definition of a finished long form composition. So you accept it as it is, you let it be fragmented, and this fragment, this raw side, is actually the strength and strong side of your project. The third strategy is hibernation. So in this one, you admit that there is this mismatch between your current skills and the expectation and the idea of the project that you are working on. So let's say that your arrangement skills are not there yet, or you still need to figure out how to mix this and write this low-end part. So what happens here is that you should reflect on what is missing in your skill set and simply put your project aside and come back to it once you gain the necessary skills. The fourth one, the organ donor, and that's my favorite. I don't even know how many tracks I resurrected using this method. What it basically means is that, like imagine you're a doctor, you stop resuscitating, you know it's never gonna happen, your project is dead, and the best thing you can do is simply take the parts out. You go through your project, you export all the samples, clips, vocal chops, textures, maybe like the sound design of some particular synth, anything that you find value in, because at the end you spend lots of time on it, so it's pointless to just waste it, right? So save all the things you like into your personal library. You can reuse it in any other project, whether new or one you are stuck on too long already. So sometimes we have a nice concept, but maybe not necessarily the context. So who knows, maybe you just need to change the key, change the tempo to make a masterpiece. So we all have a folder full of incomplete projects, and I think the best we can do is to admit that we will never finish them. And then if you are ready to do that, I recommend you one of these 4 strategies, and to simply move on and start a project that fully excites you. If you want to know more about this topic, I posted the research on my Substack. Thanks for watching, and especially thanks to all the people who are waiting for so long for me to come back. Thanks for your messages, it was very motivating. And I'm back full of energy and excited to share more with you soon. Thanks again, and go create something.